controversial subjects with the facts can be tense, but we are a sub-science here to make things make sense.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, that's the spot.
Right there.
Oh, it's stiff. Oh, that's stiff.
Okay.
But now it's less stiff.
Demonetized immediately on YouTube. If I haven't said it once, I'll say it again. I love massages so much.
Mitch is someone who pays for massages, sometimes weekly, sometimes
not anymore.
Once every
sadly.
double week.
Pandemic we'll talk about
him.
It robbed me, but I have also transitioned into something else that I'll love to talk about as we go.
So, question: when you went to get your massage, were you thinking of it from a science?
My massage.
Just let me
like
finish.
the recent one, or you just mean in general?
Listen.
Oh, okay.
When you went to get thine massage, were
Massages?
you thinking? Yes, just freaking. Oh my god, just listen. Were you thinking this is going to help me physiologically, help repair my muscles after this workout, help to decrease inflammation, all these things that some people might say, or are you just thinking I just want to chill?
A mix of both. So there was a period in my life where I had a lot of back problems. I still have back problems but in this period of my life, I found that massage therapy would help me feel better for a short period of time. And so I got in the habit of going pretty regularly. Before that, when I was younger, massages, I would just love to go for the sensation of relaxing. And I am mostly like that now, where I don't think about like a rehabilitative ability, but I think about just like chilling, relaxing, checking out. What are you laughing?
Sorry, I'm laughing about what I'm going to say. The reason is that I do it, and it's so sad. Continue.
I think I know what you're going to say. Ultimately now I use it to just chill because I just love the feeling of it, you know?
He likes it when it's a big beefy guy. Let me tell you a lot.
Oh, we're going to need to talk about that too.
So no, it's so sad for me. The reason
oh my God.
No, this is actually mortifying. I don't even know. Okay. So the reason I now get massages is because it's the only time I can't go on my phone because I physically can't. And last time Mitch got me a massage for my birthday, I thought to myself, because I'm such a psycho person who's always doing, I'm going to actively think about some TikTok ideas while I get a massage, because what else am I going to do? Because I do find sometimes that being alone with your thoughts is like something that...
It's too much for you to handle.
No, it's just like, sometimes I'm like, whenever I get massage, there's always a moment like after 15 minutes when I'm getting a treatment, I'm like, well, what should I actively think about right now? Like I'll let my mind wander, but then... So I actively start thinking about TikToks, and then boom, it's the most viral TikTok we've ever done. So then I'm like, oh my God. It's because I was like actually slowed down and finally thought about something for goddamn once in my life. Maybe I should do it again. And I went and did it again. I thought about our second most popular TikTok of all time. Like it's a reinforcing thing where now our TikTok and Instagram is like blowing up because I go to massages. All thanks
to Greg's massages.
All thanks to me slowing down and having to think without just going on my phone and doing it almost immediately. It's so sad.
You're absurd. Because also I'm like, I know we talk a lot on this podcast about me having anxiety, me having issues, but I'm like, there's something about you not being able to just like chill.
Yeah. Like I was, again, The Sopranos, like he has that problem too. Like whenever things are going good, he like actively goes crazy in the therapy. So it's like, if you can't be alone, it means that you're hiding from your trauma. And I'm just like, okay, cool. Like, what should I do now? But I don't have trauma. I'm such a privileged little fyke. You know what I mean?
Yeah, unless you've like buried something.
My trauma is that once I was late for a Lorde concert.
Yeah.
And then there was another one I realized
recently you had another trauma that was the most embarrassing thing ever.
Oh, no, yeah, we can't bring it up on the podcast. I know.
Okay. It's too embarrassing.
Okay, so... oh my God. Okay.
Let's do a little bit of a science talk about first massages, and then we can chat more about our experiences.
So I have two studies, but one specifically was going to relate to your back pain thing because it's about people who have neck pain. Okay. And in this study, they compared four different groups. One received massage only. Mm-hmm. One received was told and given an exercise regime that they had to do only. Okay. One was exercise and massage, and the other was given just advice. And they didn't track them whether they were doing anything. They were like, maybe bend your neck like this, sleep like this, but there was no like
follow up.
Whereas the exercise, they like did it with them.
Okay.
It was found that in the short term, so after 7 weeks and 12 weeks, because they were measuring like 7, 12, 24, blah, 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 massage and exercise found improvement in pain intensity. So this was all subjective, but within what they considered a short term interval, which was 7, 12 weeks, the people said their necks felt better from massage and exercise plus massage. But at 26 weeks, exercise alone showed higher improvements in pain intensity than massage and exercise and massage.
Even when they were combined?
Even when they were combined. Exercise was higher than exercise and massage.
The most effective
treatment. After 26 weeks, which is kind of interesting for you.
Yes.
And then finally,
interesting for you.
Well, because you kind of went from massage helping to exercise. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Then after 12 months, there was no difference in neck pain between any of the therapies, including just advice.
Wait, what? So exercise then became not helpful?
It became equally as helpful to everyone after 12 months.
I think I've got lost for a second. You were saying, I thought there was all these different groups.
Yeah. And then they did it for a whole year, and they actually found that by the end of the year, there was no difference.
Between any of them?
So
exercise didn't help?
Yeah, well, exactly. Well, it helped in the short term and after 26 weeks. But then after a year, they were all...
Just telling someone advice was just as equal?
They all were kind of like, I still have the same neck pain.
Even with exercise?
This was just one study of 618
No, that's
people.
fair, but that's interesting.
And then there was also, after 26 weeks, higher perceived pain in people who were getting advice and exercise throughout. But then when they tested them, it seemed like it was similar. So there was this weird thing at 26 weeks where the worst pain was exercise and advice. But then when they actually got them to they stretched their necks out and really tested them, they ended up being equal.
Stretched their necks out, when they did movements, they would then
their
feel,
perceived
how does this
pain
feel
was
now?
higher, but then when they actually started to really push and go how do you feel there, there was no difference.
Okay, that's interesting. I mean, my anecdotal personal experience is that when I was doing massages, sometimes it was on a weekly basis because my back was bothering me so much. I did feel relief, but it would always come back within a week. But then I finally, went to a gym and had a trainer who kind of specialized in movement and what do you say? What's the ability to move?
Agility.
No, when you have range of motion.
Range of motion.
That sort of thing, but also slowly working up to building muscles. And that forever changed my life.
Yeah.
And it did not go away completely, but over the course of now, it's been maybe 2.5, 3 years that I started doing that. I have way less severe back problems. When they happen, they go away usually faster. They're not usually as bad. And I feel so much more confident. Now I've finally started to exercise more intensely because I feel oh my gosh, I actually can push myself. Whereas before I was terrified. But really, since even then, unrelated to the pandemic, exercise changed my body for sure.
Exercise changed my life. Nike ad, get on them. But that's interesting. So for you in this experiment, you would have, let's just say, just exercise. You would be at 12 months would have been it's way better. Again, this is neck pain, not back pain. And also just wanting to remind people, you are talking about exercise, not massage.
That's correct.
Exercise is what changed your life.
Yes, and I was saying originally I did massage and I did feel short-term benefits. But exercise has been the only thing I found to have a long-term benefit.
And you feel it's just exercise. Are there any other things that have changed in your life? Any extraneous variables we might need to?
That's the
but
one.
Are there any?
I just mean I generally think I'm more aware of my health and eating, but that I think is because of exercise as well.
What about the pandemic?
What about you just had an accent?
What about the pandemic?
What about the pandemic?
It was kind of around the time. Kind of around the time.
It was kind of around the time.
It's kind of around the time.
What is your question?
It's sort of been the last 2 years, which is also the pandemic. Maybe you weren't walking as far.
So, I think also just movement in general. So now, even with our job, the pandemic led to a moment where there were so many more meetings sitting down, and I think that didn't cause me to have pain. I didn't have these weird back spasms, but I would get back achiness more often. So now I try to just literally walk more. I find because before the pandemic, one of the most triggering things for me would be flying. So because I'm sitting for such long periods of time, and not moving at all.
Now you're it's just this podcast. Sitting at this podcast
one of the hardest
things
for me.
Hardest things for my life.
Sacrificing myself for everyone else. But no, just moving. I know that sounds simple, and obviously that's not going to work for everyone. But adding more walking to my days, now I try to, on the days that I'm not going to the gym, go for an hour walk in the morning, go for an hour walk in the evening. I think that helps me a lot.
So in general, it's physical exercise, whether it's like at a gym or walking, that has, in your opinion, changed your back problems. That's cool.
Yes. Now,
massage didn't work.
This podcast is about massage. It did give me temporary relief. And I think that's totally okay as well.
Yeah, because you got a happy ending.
Have you ever?
No, but like, I was like, imagine I had, and this is what we talked about.
Oh, like when we like first found out.
How does one get a happy ending?
I'm sure there's
Google
websites.
A happy ending.
Like, I think if there's Grindr, there's probably like versions of that for
I'm
massage.
not opposed to like paying those people well. Like, what if I was a sex worker? Like, that's a great one.
Yeah, I don't think that has
like
to
give
be
them a good old
shameful.
massage and then just like happy ending. It's like boom. No, there's
Double
no shame.
whammo. I know.
It's just to pay them right. That's all.
Okay, let's bring up massages for a second again, because I need to talk about the fact that, do you prefer a male masseuse or a female masseuse?
Female, because I don't like a boner.
Exactly. But sometimes, so I'm like really sensitive on my inner legs that I'm always just scared. I'm always scared that it's always a risk for me.
Oh, I think about dogs getting macheted.
I sometimes try things like that.
I think about like awful things.
Especially if my bladder is full, it's always not going to end well. I don't know why. It's probably pushing on something.
Mitch sure knows how to get rock hard.
But it's dangerous. Yeah. I just like, it's more like when I am afraid of it, it happens.
Okay. Actually, now I'm thinking
not
about
that it's happened a lot to me, but there's been times when
Yeah.
I'm like, is it noticeable?
I do think I shouldn't say the male over female or anything in between vibe, because I do still get boner to female. I know what it is. It's the immediate first touching for me.
Just that like sensation.
Yeah. And I will say there's a difference, at least in like what I have experienced in general. I have started recently getting a lot more massages, and I've found that like, actually know what it is. It's a difference in the place. One of the places is more bougie with like the candles and the music. And that's when like I've had female identifying massage therapists, and I kind of get a little horny because it's like it's so sensual. And I just picture like, I just am like, this is hot in like a one way.
But do you get, I've never gotten horny. I just like, I'm like,
oh
why
my
is
God,
that
I
happening?
literally have to think about
no.
dogs getting like,
so yours is cognitive.
absolutely destroyed by shotguns and
Oh
stuff.
my.
Because then it's like, as if not, like I'm just like, whoa, I'm getting horny.
Okay, that's the difference for me. Like mine's honestly anxiety. It's like
You get anxiety boners?
I'm not horny at all, and it's like my brain's going, the one thing you're not allowed to have.
And then you get it?
Yes.
Wait, Mitch, that's crazy. I feel like I don't get boners when I'm anxious.
So it's not like in a normal situation. I've never never gotten a boner when I'm anxious, but it's because of the touching. So for me, it's just certain spots that feel like, I guess, erogenous zones or whatever, even though they're not like that close to.
I was just thinking, I was like, if you got anxiety boners, that's so funny.
Oh gosh. Imagine I just told you that like my whole life.
There's like turbulence on the airplane. You're just like, I'm hard as a rock.
No, I think it is, like you said, the setting. I never am emotionally aroused. It's just sometimes physically. But that has.
So
not
have you
happened
ever
yet.
spun over and then had a bone underneath the sheets?
Never like full on, no. Like I've never been so mortified.
Like,
And usually-
whoa, there's a banana. Like a full, those like comical like boners in movies that are so
I
fake.
feel like I've kind of casually talked to some friends who work as massage therapists or in massage, and they're like, it is so common. Like I think a lot of men, I'm sure women feel aroused too, but it's visible for so many men.
Well, women could spin around and just be like absolutely soaking wet.
But yeah,
Oh
it's just always a risk, because I feel like with a woman it's less a risk for me, because if it happens I can be like, I'm gay, this is so clearly not me trying to like
I love that you're just like lying in your like composition, you're just opening your eyes, I'm gay.
well, because
With a
I
big
think that's my
boner.
fear, is that there's like some risk of like sexual harassment or assault,
Yeah,
which I
yeah.
know most massage therapists probably know this is like happens for a lot
Oh
of
my
people.
God, it is.
But when
so
it's a man, I'm
interesting.
like, I don't want it to
Yeah.
be a bad situation where it's like, I don't know. And-
mine is like boners off the top, always.
but at least you're facing downwards first, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's why if they were ever like, want to star in your back, I'd be like, no.
Oh my
They'll like
God.
comically see the like sheet like grow slowly. It'll be like absolutely embarrassing. So yeah, okay. So is that enough on the boners? And like we're getting so sidetracked, but like
No, okay,
it's
I'll
kind of
talk a
not
little more-
sidetracked.
okay.
I think a lot of people relate
Have
to it, but
this
like let's go more
experience.
into the science.
Okay, I have one main study, but I wanted to mention that it is kind of an interesting field, because I know just before we were chatting, you said you found lots of studies, but in general, there's not a lot of high quality studies on massage therapy. And for some people in some parts of the world, it comes off as like pseudoscience, because there are a lot of therapists that might claim things that are simply not true. Like, can massage therapy help cancer? Can massage therapy cure your XYZ? Much like a lot of alternative medicines, there's a lot of claims, some of which are probably actually from research, but a lot of which are sometimes just kind of pseudoscience. You know
I know exactly where those claims come from in my next study. So,
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, in general, I had just done, like, I was like looking around. I was like, there are a lot of discussions, so this isn't going to be all encompassing, but I found a quick review of some main topics. So it was like, it does seem to lower blood pressure and stress. Low back pain, it has like minimal long-term impact. So like sometimes, like I was saying for my back, like short term.
Or the earlier study. Or
yeah, the neck
7 to 12
pain,
weeks.
it's like short term, but typically there's not like long-term
Doesn't
therapeutic
go away.
benefits. Headaches, there's been some evidence for minimizing migraines and headaches, but like not enough for anyone to say this is the treatment.
It's so
that
hard
people
to
should do.
study too.
Yes.
Like it's so hard.
I think part of it is that it's difficult to have a placebo, let alone a double blind.
How could you have not taken into consideration extraneous variables? Because if you're thinking about the things that massage constantly claims it fixes, it's these long-term things that if they're probably, a lot of them, you're right, are based on perceived pain. And it's like, you're just a great example with your back pain. Like so many other things in your life are constantly evolving and changing, that to say it's just massage will always be hard, like over 1 year. Like it makes sense. There's not going to be a right or wrong ever with this kind of stuff.
Yeah, and it is just like, if you think something is going to help you, it could be helping you just because your brain. But in terms of studies, it's like there's not a lot of hard science in this space because it's difficult to achieve both the practitioner and the person getting the massage to not know what is actually being studied.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that there isn't benefit, but almost all the studies I came across had like fairly minimal impacts on chronic issues.
Okay, I have one that can kind of get a little closer into like, it's actually biochemical. And
Mine too.
Okay, cool. Oh, but then do yours.
Yeah, sorry. That was just my preamble to my study.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So is that too boring if I keep talking?
No, keep talking.
Because I'm like, is it the same one? Mine was about exercise and the efficiency and if massage helps exercise.
Helps what, like recovery or getting better at it?
Well, this was what they were going to do. Okay. So basically it's kind of an older study and it's on a small sample. So
1902.
it's from,
Pre-science.
So basically they had the participants go through really strenuous exercise on a bicycle to the point of exhaustion. Then one of their legs would get a massage.
Oh my God. I love
ooh. Like, so they, and after that, they would take tissue samples from their quads. So they took tissue samples both before, 10 minutes after massage, and 3 hours after.
Okay.
And then they were studying the mRNA levels in that. So this was why I was like, this is so interesting because it's hard science.
Yeah. Okay.
And because mRNA basically is like the building blocks for proteins, right?
Yeah.
So they could understand, okay, is something being stimulated in one leg more than the other, building proteins to help muscle, help,
love this study.
Inflammation, those kind of things. And so basically they compared the unmassaged muscle cells, the muscle cells,
the unmassaged muscle
from the different legs, and they found a variation, like a pretty significant one in the legs of two key proteins. There was one called NFKB and it was less, and there was one called PGC1 alpha and there was more of that. And ultimately lowering NFKB lowers inflammation. So this was in the massage leg, and increasing PGC1 alpha creates more mitochondria, which is related to energy for cell growth.
Oh, so they're saying like to help exercise, it's like, okay, you would quote unquote be lowering your inflammation and increasing
like energy
like
for
literally
the muscle growth.
Citric acid cycle, hun.
Okay.
Glycolysis, babe, in the mitochondria, as said earlier.
This study, obviously not trying to extrapolate too hard, but was saying, a massage after an exercise, like you can have your cake and eat it too, was basically how the study ended, being like a massage actually may help take some or get some benefits out of it.
How many people? How many legs?
11. That's, it was small.
Okay,
but it was published in Science. And it was
imagine it was like science, but it was spelled with SSINCE. There's no C in the science. Weird. Bunk journal. But no, I'm kidding. 11 though, that's so weird because I found that so many of these studies were so small too.
I mean,
they're all small and a little
I think it's because it requires physical manual labor on people. So it's like challenging to get to those kind of numbers of thousands of people, which you can do with surveys.
I kind of want to do that on my own. Like I just want to like like citizen science that, like when I go to my next massage, be like, can you only do the right leg? And then
see.
just like walk around and be like, is my right leg jelly vibes compared to my other? Do you know what I mean? Like I just kind of want to like do it for a month.
Yeah, but then you might get imbalanced.
Well, if I do, then I'll be like, something's happening.
Maybe,
or I might be like, everything's the exact same. And then
I will say that most other general conversations and studies I was looking at in sports science found low impact from this. Like obviously there's a lot of money in sports science.
Yeah.
And teams and researchers
God.
like
And
people who are
massage people.
Olympians who are trying to like push to their limits. And I think, you know, when they're not doing it, it's probably because the science isn't strong enough to suggest that it's like good.
There's
not that
definitely
it makes it bad,
some like Olympic massage therapist who's like flown first class around the world to like massage Michael Phelps. You know what I mean? Like there's someone who's like managed to like hijack all this science and just like give good enough massages to be like yeah, the IGFKB21 protein is way lower with my hands. Okay, mine's kind of about that.
Okay.
So it's deep tissue massage post-workout, and it's 9 healthy meals. So it's
Okay,
just
there we
as
go.
small. It's even smaller, actually. So what they did is they gave them high-intensity sprint workouts. Yours was bike, right?
Yes.
Followed by like some squat jumps and something until they were scared. It was like
Squat jumps. That's hard.
the way it was written was like until they were scared they wouldn't make it on the next squat jump. Like you know they have to
jump
like
high enough that
okay. And it was like such big science words. It was so funny. It was like participant thine, like not thine, but like physiological force of the angle does not make them think they can meet the requirements of getting on to said squat. It's like they were too scared to jump as they thought they'd fall. So it was like pushed to their limit.
Okay.
And they tested in their blood for inflammatory markers. So like,
Pretty
unlike the
similar.
mRNA, though, they're testing the proteins actually made in this point.
Okay.
So you'll remember these from cell biology. Interleukin 6, 8, and 10. Remember interleukin 6? Interleukin 8. Interleukin
coming
10.
to the stage.
Coming to the stage. Interleukin. And know what they do? Cause inflammation. But they're very important because inflammation is something that your body obviously needs to heal. But there's a lot of science kind of in the same way as like never, like nothing's good with too much of it. And it's like interleukin 6, interleukin 8, interleukin 10 have been linked to to cancer. But it's like stuff from cell biology that's so complicated and nuanced that I think this type of study was relating to what you said earlier is why sometimes people say it can decrease cancer.
Right.
But it's like that is such a leap. You can't say that.
Yes.
But you know what I mean?
It's more like conceptual. It's not that they've ever shown it decrease cancer, but they know if this small marker does decrease a bit, then and we know cancer is linked to that, then maybe they're related.
But it's also crazy. It's like, it's cancer, hun. It's like everything you do links to cancer. You know what I mean? Like every meal you eat, it could have nitrates in it. If you're eating like bologna, boom, that could increase your esophagus cancer. You know what I mean? Or maybe you like went to a bar in Germany and they're smoking secondhand smoke,
or
boom,
just like
in your lung, boom, there's some
alcohol.
Cancer. Alcohol. Not sleeping one night.
Charring any part of a burger or anything. It's like, that's literally just a cancer agent once it's burnt black.
If you're
Even though it
gay,
tastes good.
douching. Every time I douche, I'm like, this is probably not good. I don't know if humans are supposed to be shoving water up their anus. Okay, anyways. So they also assessed for 2 other inflammatory markers, but I thought the interleukins were the most
famous ones.
Likely the ones we all know about.
The one to get everyone really excited on the pod.
Yeah, IL-1 if you're going to do a chart. And so the molecules were assessed before they worked out, 1 hour after they worked out, 2 hours after they worked out, and 24 hours after they worked out. Mm-hmm. And then they were also told to try and jump again up onto that little thing over there. And if there was muscle and soreness, they asked them about that.
Okay.
So there was pretty much like no difference.
Wait, you said after they worked out. Did you mean after they got a massage?
Sorry, I meant after they got a massage. Okay. Sorry. They work out really, really hard. Then they test their blood for that period of time after they get a massage. Okay. And the massage is right after. So there was pretty much no difference. So what happened was that interleukin 8 and the 2 other inflammatory signaling molecules returned to baseline after a massage quicker than people who didn't get massage.
Oh, so like almost actually worse.
But that no, you want it to return like to baseline quicker in theory.
Oh, I see.
Do you know what I mean? The inflammation,
got it, because the inflammation went up and you're bringing it back down to baseline.
So what happens is you work out, you get inflammation in your body. The massage actually helped them get back to baseline quicker, quote unquote, good thing.
Okay.
But then the interleukin 6 and the interleukin 10 went up without the massage. Oh, sorry. Went back to baseline quicker without the massage.
Okay, so it was just like some of them went down with, and some of them went up with.
Went up with, which is a little bit like, Okay. So then at the end, there's not really, you can't really say that there's any
one is
difference
better,
other than when we tested 5, 3 were like quote unquote better affected by massage. And whereas the other
Right.
2 were better affected by doing nothing. So they were like, you could maybe argue based on our research that it did help.
Yes.
But it's like, that's
But
so
let's
nuanced.
remember there's 9 people
Yeah.
yet again, 1 study. So interesting though.
But you can
kind
see
of found
how
similar things.
But you can see how someone who's a massage therapist or a pop scientist could take that study and then say something like massage decreases cancer or massage helps decrease inflammation after working out. But it's like important to know, it's like, yes, according to 3 molecules, that's so, but there's 2 others that actually doing nothing. They went back to baseline quicker than after massage. So it's just like, it's not this like amazing thing based on science.
At least not yet. And I think obviously more and more can be studied. I did come across some conversations around even just physical touch is so important for humans, Gregory. And no, but people having physical touch.
Whenever I'm touched,
it releases
it's amazing.
endorphins. It's not, even if it's not someone you love or you're intimate with.
What? But also bad touch, no good, no.
Sorry, I didn't mean that. But when you're in a massage, you're obviously like accepting the fact that you're going to be touched.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying like that kind of thing can bring about benefits as well. So
yeah,
it is interesting. I'm sure it hasn't all been studied. My sort of takeaway from it is that if you love it, go for it. It's good. If it makes you feel anecdotally better, that's awesome. It probably is helping you in some way, but don't expect it to cure your problems.
Yeah. And no, it's like just going off of like pure energy vibes, like full, like nothing to do with science. It just feels like it's gotta be a good thing.
Yeah,
you know
it definitely
like every time I do it, I'm like, this
me.
can't be like, bah.
No, it feels amazing.
Yeah, exactly. It feels amazing.
Literally feels amazing. Other than something that still really confuses me, every time I finish massages, they're always like, make sure you drink a lot of water. And I'm like, why? But then I am like, I'm so dehydrated.
Okay, so this is my theory on that, which I'm so sad we don't have studies to back it up on. Because this is just me coming from someone with fair, white, disgusting, uncooked chicken skin.
Oh my God.
So what it is that I notice that when I touch myself, like I'm very sensitive skin. So if I like hold my arm really hard and let go, like it starts to turn red. Mm-hmm. So my theory was always, this is just based on my understanding of physiology, no studies, was that when my body's getting massaged, I can see sometimes like my skin's getting red. That means that my blood is having to move further into the capillaries of my skin. Mm-hmm. So in theory, your blood is actually going to be pumping quicker throughout your body as it does those things. Yeah. And that creates dehydration because you're consuming water through all those biological processes. Okay.
Fair enough.
So that's not based on anything other than me. Just that's what I thought when I look at how my skin can turn so red when I get massaged.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I anecdotally experienced that where I'm like having lines all over my face.
Yeah,
and I like need to drink so much water after. But I've always wondered. I'm like, I literally have been laying down here. But I guess
we'll do number
similar
2
to walking. What?
We'll do massages too.
Oh, I thought you were like, go have a poo. Go do number 2. I was like, what's that have to do?
That's mostly water in your shit, just so you know.
But the one thing it still does to me is like knocks me out after. Like I have to be careful when I choose to do it if I wanted to do something after, because it is like, which I did today, and I fully regret having a hot shower in the middle of the day.
I feel like an annoying ass stupid male YouTuber biohacker loser, but I have really changed my life with understanding how to use cold showers.
Yeah.
And so I always hated massages because they made me so sad. Come home, hit the cold shower, boom, I'm back to normal.
So you can re-trigger energy from cold shower?
I re-trigger energy from cold showers 2 to 3 times every day.
You have that many shots.
No, okay. But have you ever noticed that I go in there sometimes?
Have I ever noticed that Greg has 5 towels at all times?
Yes.
I have.
I do. Because
I'm not. Why? I use the same towel for like weeks.
It's literally because of this. I'm not even kidding. I don't even, they're probably in total 45 seconds long. I go in, I do a little warm, right to cold, boom, now I can go out.
Because it's just like the jolt.
Yes, like every time we've gone out. I
wonder if just like holding an ice cube would do it, you know? Like, or touching yourself with somewhere with an ice cube.
It honestly might be in like an acute way. But before we ever go out, I kind of have a shower. Yeah. That's like the only way I can get out of there is because I'm like, it gives me so much energy because I'm usually tired.
Because I have a really hard time cold showers, and I love hot showers. And so if ever I'm like need a shower in the middle of the day because like I've gone to the gym or something, I end up having a hot one, and like it really, I've been dizzy the entire day since I had a shower at like 1 p.m.
Know what you should do? Don't end all the way cold now, and bring it like like when I started doing it, I would bring it like a little bit down until eventually I ended up at cold like 2 weeks later.
I have done that.
Like,
and I've
lukewarm.
noticed like if when we there's been times when I was like I can't afford to be tired right now, so I'll have like a lukewarm and then go colder, and then I don't have this problem. It's just like I'm so addicted to hot water.
No,
it's bad.
I see that in you. We went to sauna. I almost died.
Yeah, like I love sauna. I love a jacuzzi.
Mitch
I love
sits in
steam
sauna.
room. Like it feels so good, but then I do get so tired after. Trying to think of anything else massage wise.
No, honestly, just for me, like they're for you, babe. Like I recently got into them. Like I'm not gonna help you.
Yeah, and you said you felt like it even helped your foot.
I was just like having small talk at dinner after a massage, but no, I don't think so.
Oh, you were just saying that.
Just like when you're gabbing with a glass of wine, like, my foot feels kind of good post massage,
Okay,
like that. But I was
fine,
actually
fine.
like, you know what I mean? I wasn't actually like, I was like in my real head, I'm like, God, I just got to get off this thing.
Well, I wish it was cheaper. That's the only thing.
It's so expensive.
Yeah.
And know what does hell? Massage is ending.
Yeah. And you're just like, I always wish they could last forever.
And I'm always like, you think that was an hour? And I look at my watch. I'm like, whoa, it was actually even a little longer. Damn.
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
this was the
it
one thing
goes
I wanted to
fast.
say. How you were like, you think of other things. When I'm in a massage, what I think about is literally enjoying every second and being so present and aware of what muscles are being worked on.
Oh, that's
like,
cool.
Like
That's meditation.
So I get really not upset, but sometimes I do kind of like zone out and fall asleep.
Kathy, you missed a spot.
No, I'll be really bummed out if I like fall asleep because I'm like I wasn't present during it.
You've fallen asleep.
Yeah, 100%. You've never fallen asleep in a massage?
No, girl, I'm thinking of TikToks.
But sometimes it's like I'll be hungover or something on a Sunday and getting a massage, and so I'll just be tired. And sometimes I'm just so relaxed that and it's like you're just doing nothing. So
Okay, it would be such hell to fall asleep. Oh my God, I'm thinking about that. I would be like so pissed.
I've
feel like
literally
I
also
wasted money.
done this. It's also embarrassing when you're just like, and you kind of wake up, and then I'm like, oh God, did they hear me?
Oh my God.
And then sometimes they'll be like, how you doing? Because I'll like have breathed really weird sometimes.
Don't you think in your opinion it means you should be pressing harder, ma'am?
Oh, maybe,
or
or
man?
you could, because I usually ask for like relaxation kinds of massage. Like I'm mostly not there for issues. I'm mostly there now just to have a nice time.
No, okay. This is what I'll say about massages. Ernie saying hello. I give them to Ernie for free every freaking day.
know.
Every time I pet my dog, I'm like,
so
how the
jealous of him.
hell? I just pay for your food. I just walk you, and then I literally give you all these free massages. You never have massaged me back.
I know. I want to be a dog in my next life.
I want to be a dog
for
too.
sure.
I want to be a fucking golden retriever for us.
Could you? But you
Spoiled
do that to
brat.
him. You should do that to me.
Okay, that's so interesting. No, what's crazy too is I'm thinking about me and Mitch. Okay, so I love a hard massage. Mitch, very sensitive. So I love to touch Mitch. I love to touch Mitch, but it always is like whenever I do, he's like, oh my God, what the fuck? And I'm like, I was just trying to touch you. And when I touch Ernie, it is just absolute.
Yeah, he looks like he's panicked to escape. We massage Ernie's, like, I will be like, you know when you like massage someone so like methodically and slowly, like I'll do it so because I want him to fall asleep while I'm massaging.
Which is so cute because he does.
Like I'll be like, yeah, he'll start to nod off. It's not like I'm not doing it like with enough pressure. I'm just like doing it in such a pattern that I'm like, oh, when he falls asleep, that's when I know I did it the best.
Whereas for me, I know I did the best when his eyes are open and he's kind of scared. He's always like, holy shit. What the
Yeah,
fuck?
like you can tell he's like so stimulated.
And then I stop and he's like, oh, I gotta blow my mouth one more. You know what I mean? Like I like to shock his system. Okay, so recently the one thing I'll say that I thought was the coolest part of my massage was that literally there would be like parts of my back that when I was working out, I was like, oh God, there's like, it just kind of feels weird.
Yeah.
And then she'd be like, have her elbow like so hard in my back and she'd be like, this right here. And I'd be like, yeah. And
they
then
know.
I'm like, you knew.
Yeah. I love when
That's
when they say something that I'm surprised they find out because they're exactly.
Yeah. Because I'm like, how big is my boil on my back or something?
Like that's when I'm like, massage therapists are real.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean.
Well,
that's when I had moments of like, this is cool.
And I didn't know this, but I think in America, they're not trained or registered in the same way. Like in Canada and a lot of places in Europe, there's something called a registered massage therapist, and they train for years and years.
Yeah.
And so I think there is maybe a difference in standard, and just in my mind, someone who's done so much obviously would have sort of an intuition and a feel, and it's cool to know that they can feel the parts of me that are tense. And sometimes like one guy did this thing to me where he like moved my neck to the side and just had his finger like gently tapping one part of me, and I was like, okay, this is absolute bullshit. Like, it doesn't feel good. Like, what's happening? But then when he moved me back, like, all the tension was gone.
You had the hardest rock boner in all of your life.
No, I just was like, wow, I do not know what that was, but it did something really cool.
Yeah. Okay, like that's fair. Like I'm thinking of like all the registered massage therapists like listening to this and hating it. But it's like our podcast. Well, but what we're saying is that it's a tough thing to study. The science isn't there to back up a lot of these claims. And in fact, some of these studies are leading to quite like not very strong
extreme claims.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that you have a knot in your neck and
I will say
out and that's not great.
My personal experience with massage therapists has never been that they've claimed anything like that.
Yeah.
Like I've only ever expected that it's helping to loosen up, maybe get the blood flowing. Like no one I've ever worked with has made a claim that I think is untrue or that these studies are necessarily negating.
It was so cool, my last one, the one where she put her freaking hand right into my big boiled knot back. Because she was like, I was like, oh yeah, I just want to do it to relax. And like in my head, and I was like, write her TikTok. And I like got onto the thing, and she was like, started, and she was like, your like back is so like tense and like messed up that I have to work on this, and I will only be able to give you a relaxing massage for the last 15 minutes because it's going to take me 45. And I was kind of like, oh yeah, like I was like, do whatever you want. Like, I honestly don't care.
Yeah.
And it was such a different massage. And she was doing that. She was like, this part's mess. I'm like, that part feels weird. It was really cool.
No, that is cool.
And then she like relaxed.
Yeah. It's just impressive when that
I know. I love that.
And then you're like, this is legit.
And there's no way I could have fallen asleep because I actually was in pain. Like I was like, oh
yeah, my last massage I wish was harder. I kind of was like, they're gonna start doing it harder at some point, but then they didn't. So next time I just gotta let them.
You have to go harder.
Anyway, I think that's it for our massage podcast.
I think that's it for the massage podcast.
I really want to go get one right now. And
yeah,
I
me too.
hate the worst part of massage is you have to book ahead of time. It's like
months in advance even now.
Months, not really, but but near the end of the year,
but I feel like
near the end of the year, everyone has their insurance from work where they get like when I used to work for a company, I would get like $500 towards massages, and you have to use them by the end of the year. So it's like you do have to book months ahead near December because everyone's like getting their money's worth.
Everyone's clamoring to get into the massage places.
But I always am just like, oh, I want one right now, and then it's like I go on and it's like a week and a half, and I'm like, oh, that's so annoying. I'm sure I could find other places, but I love the place I go.
Uber massage. There you go.
There is such a thing.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying
someone bought us one time.
Yeah, but you want it to be instant.
Yeah, and I like going somewhere else. I feel weird when someone like brings a massage.
Okay, that was
me.
so funny. We got like someone from LA was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna Uber massage for Mitch and Greg a thing as a gift." I'm like,
and it's not actually Uber.
That's such an
but
LA
they come
thing.
to you with the table, and you have to have space in your house.
But you had to have your own sheets, and we were like young and dumb, and we had our like, dirty sheets.
Nasty.
Like we had no clean sheets. We were just like, oh, we'll use these. And then I remember my favorite part was that they were like, "What do you want to listen to?" And I got to control. And
were you like thinking about it the whole time?
We listened to the newest Bon Iver album and a Kanye West album. I remember that, and I was like, now that I loved.
True, that would be nice.
Like a music control option.
Ages ago, one therapist was like, if you want, you can make playlists before you come to here.
That is so cool because you know what? The least favorite part for me recently has been like the whale sounds and the chimes. Like it takes me out of it. I'm like, this is so hokey.
I don't mind it actually.
To me, I'm like, really,
but every now and then it's bad. But no, sometimes I am like, it's just like simple, it's peaceful, it's tranquil. I don't mind it.
Yeah, no, that's true.
But I would like obviously choose just like a Zelda original soundtrack.
Mitch like finishes the chime song from the massage. She's like, "Can I Shazam this? I love it. I actually love this."
But okay, that is if you are an RMT or a massage therapist, like
we love you.
I was not what I was gonna say. We do love you, but let your clients bring in playlists.
Oh, let your clients
like make Spotify playlists, and then you can just connect.
Then we'll love you.
But maybe there's like a licensing issue.
No, I'll just be like,
you know when you like can't go in bars like, to like license songs.
It's me. I bring my Bose speaker everywhere just in case someone needs Zine music. I'd be like, I got the Bose here. We don't need to even like go through your system.
True.
I'll put it right here. Pop it down. Boom.
They probably just don't want some crazy music for the people next door.
Because like once someone would bring Slipknot and I'd be like, you're ruining this for everyone. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for listening as always. Hope this inspired everyone to get a massage, even though it might not do that much for you. But it might make you happy, and that's the most important thing. Yeah, we'll talk to you all next week. Bye.